Dr. Kim Suho stared at his computer screen, his coffee growing cold beside his keyboard. It was 3 a.m. at the Daejeon Observatory, and he wasn't supposed to be there. But the Reddit post on his screen kept him glued to his chair. "I work at an observatory in South Korea," the post began. "Last night, we picked up something strange. At first, we thought it was just normal space noise. But it wasn't. It had a pattern." Suho checked the username again. /stargazerdk. The account was new, created just yesterday. He took another sip of his cold coffee and continued reading. The post described exactly what he had seen in his own data 2 nights ago, a repeating signal that shouldn't exist. But he hadn't told anyone about it yet. How did this person know? His phone buzzed. A text from his boss. "Why are you at the observatory? Your shift ended 6 hours ago." Suho typed quickly. "Found something interesting. We'll explain tomorrow." He went back to the Reddit post. The user had added more details in the comments. They wrote about specific frequencies that matched Suho's readings exactly. His hand started to shake. "The signal repeats every 127 seconds, one comet raid. But here's the scary part. It's getting stronger. And it's not coming from any known star or galaxy. It's coming from empty space." Suho opened his own data files. The numbers matched perfectly. Too perfectly. He tried to message /stargazerdk, but got an error. "User not found." The account was gone. He saved the post using his phone's screenshot feature. When he refreshed the page, the entire post had disappeared too. No traces left, as if it never existed. Suho started typing his own post. To /stargazerdk. "I saw your post about the signal. I work at Daejeon Observatory too. We need to talk. The pattern you described matches my data." He hit submit. The post appeared for a second, then vanished. He tried again. Same result. His computer screen flickered. All the observatory's monitors flickered at once. The signal was getting stronger. Suho grabbed his external hard drive and started copying his data. The copying bar moved slowly. 15%, 20%, 25%. His phone buzzed again. This time, it was a number he didn't know. The message read, "Delete the data, Dr. Kim. Some things aren't meant to be found." The copying reached 50%. The lights in the observatory started to flicker too. 70%. His computer fans began to spin faster, making a high-pitched sound. 90%. Static filled his phone screen. 95%. The lights went out completely. 98%. In the darkness, Suho saw something through the observatory's dome window. A light in the sky where no light should be. 99%. The light grew brighter. 100%. Copy complete. His computer chimed. Suho grabbed the hard drive and ran. Behind him, every computer in the observatory turned on at once, screens glowing with the same message. "They geno you saw it." He didn't stop running until he reached his car. As he drove home, the radio played only static, and through it, he thought he heard a voice counting numbers: 127, 127, 127. The next morning, the observatory's computers had no record of the signal. The Reddit post was gone. But Suho had his hard drive, and he knew what he saw. Now he just had to figure out who else knew about it, and why they wanted to keep it secret. He opened his laptop at home and found one new email. The subject line read, "About last night's signal." The sender's address was just numbers: 127 127 127 at 127.com. Major Lee Jae-yun didn't believe in coincidences. 23 Reddit accounts had disappeared in the last week. All of them had posted about strange signals from space. She sat in her small office at the Korean military's Cyber Command Center, scanning through archived posts. Her computer showed a map with red dots where each Reddit user had last logged in. The pattern looked too perfect to be random. Her phone rang. "Major Lee, we found another one," her assistant said. "Username is Spacewatcher92. Posted about signals 10 minutes ago. Account still active." Jai-Yun's fingers flew across her keyboard. She had to be quick. The other accounts all vanished within an hour of posting. The new post appeared on her screen. "I'm not crazy. The signals are real. They're talking about some kind of test. About humans. I saved the audio file here." The post ended there. No audio file. No more comments. Jai-Yun checked the user's location. Daejeon. Same city as 3 other disappeared accounts. She zoomed in on the map and saw something that made her heart stop. All the Daejeon posts came from near the observatory. Her office door opened. A man walked in, holding a hard drive. "Major Lee, I'm Dr. Kim Suho from the observatory. I need your help." Jai-Yun looked at her map, then back at Suho. "Let me guess, you saw the signals too." Suho's eyes widened. "How did you?" "Sit down, doctor. Tell me everything." As Suho talked, more Reddit posts appeared on Jai-Yun's screen. Each one lasted only minutes before vanishing. Users from Tokyo, Beijing, Moscow, all reporting the same signals. "Look at this," Jai-Yun said, showing Suho her map. "When we connect the locations of all disappeared users." She drew lines between the red dots. Suho stepped back. "It's a perfect pentagon. But that's impossible." Jai-Yun opened a new file on her computer. 2 months ago, someone tried to hack our military satellites. They left this code behind. The screen filled with numbers. Suho gasped. "That's the same pattern as the signal." A new message popped up on Jai-Yun's screen. Another Reddit post. "To anyone else who sees the signals, they're not just watching us. They're waiting for something. The test starts soon." The username caught Jai-Yun's eye. 127,127,127. "That email address," Suho whispered. "The one that contacted me." Jai-Yun tried to trace the post's location. Her screen went black. Then words appeared, one by one. "Major Lee Jai-Yun. Didar Kim Suo. We have in duation. You are no part of the DG test." Every computer in the office turned on by itself. Each screen showed the same countdown. "Test BGJNs in 127 HODURs. Jai-Yun grabbed her phone to call her superiors. No signal. Suho checked his phone too. Nothing. "Major," Suho said, pointing out the window. "Look at the sky." Above Seoul, the stars were moving, making shades, forming patterns. The test was beginning. Park Do-won had worked at the Deep Space Listening Station for 15 years. He knew every normal sound space could make. This sound wasn't normal. He checked his equipment again. The message hidden in the background radiation was still there. After 3 days of decoding, he finally understood some words. He had to tell someone. His hand shook as he created a new Reddit account, Deep Space Listener. "I need to share this quickly," he typed. "I work at a deep space listening station. We found messages hidden in the cosmic background radiation. They're warnings about beings called the Collectors. Here's what we decoded." Do-won looked over his shoulder. The empty station felt colder than usual. He continued typing. "Wo are named to preservation sphere 127. Conti in ent doriasige, detcte, coalexi tours 8pp or oasi, and subgct species shows an eufitho, or I. Evolution. Termination poro totolp ending." His computer beeped. New signals were coming in stronger now. Do-won recorded them and kept typing. The messages repeat in different languages. some we've never seen before, but they all point to the same thing. Earth is part of an experiment. We're being watched, and something went wrong. The lights in the station flickered. Do-One's screen showed new messages appearing. More signals coming in. They're talking about human creativity, our ability to imagine. They say it's dangerous, that we weren't supposed to develop it. The collectors are coming to fix their mistake. Static filled his headphones. Through it, he heard something that made his blood freeze. Voices. Millions of voices, all counting down from 127. I'm uploading the audio files now. Everyone needs to hear. The power went out. In the darkness, Do-One saw lights moving outside the station's windows. Not stars. Not planes. Something else. His emergency flashlight showed strange symbols appearing on the walls. They moved like living things. Do-One grabbed his phone. One last message. If anyone finds this, Earth isn't just a planet. It's a test tube. We're the experiment. But we grew beyond their plans. The collectors are coming to start over. They've done it before. The other preservation spheres, all the failed tests, they're still out there, still sending warnings. His phone died. The symbols on the walls glowed brighter. Through the window, he saw something massive blocking the stars. The backup generator kicked in. Red emergency lights filled the station. On every screen, in every language humans had ever made, one message flashed. Preservation, HFY 127 status. Quarantine. And the UV ISDG evolution DTECT. Collector interior of the engine beginning. Remain calm. This is not a test. Do-One heard footsteps on the station's roof. Heavy footsteps, inhuman footsteps. His last thought, before the ceiling opened above him, was about the Reddit post he hadn't finished, about the warning he couldn't complete. The collectors had arrived. Dr. Kim Soo-ho and Major Lee Jae-yun stared at the global communications map. Red lights blinked everywhere as systems failed. London's gone dark, Jae-yun said, marking another point on their chart. That's the 7th major city in 3 hours. Soo-ho compared the new data with his signal readings. The pattern matches. Each blackout happens exactly 127 minutes after the signal peaks. Their emergency command center in Seoul buzzed with activity. After Park Do-One's last message, the military had finally started taking them seriously. Look at this, Soo-ho pointed to his screen. When we mapped the blackout locations, he drew lines between the points. Jae-yun's eyes widened. It's a star, the perfect 7-pointed star across the globe. The room's main screen flickered. Static cleared to show a message. PTTER recognition achieved. CVGCT species, DNONSTORATs, HCCATABLENNALYS, QROCEEDING to PHAZ2. They're watching us solve it, Soo-ho whispered. This is part of their test. Jae-yun's computer beeped. New signal detected. It's coming from the moon. The message changed. Preservation, HFY 127 inhabitants. Your species, has shown unexpected growth. The collectors require direct evaluation. Something huge appeared on their radar. It was coming from behind the moon, moving fast. Get me satellite images, Jae-yun ordered. The screen showed it. A massive shape, geometric and impossible, bigger than any human ship. As it moved past the moon, smaller objects broke away from it, heading toward Earth. They're targeting the star points, Soo-ho said, watching the objects split up. All 7 cities. Jae-yun grabbed her phone. We need to evacuate. The objects stopped, hung in the sky above each city, waiting. New words filled every screen worldwide. Do not resist. Evaluation begins Anodoti. Prove your worth. Suho looked at his data again. Major, the pattern. It's not just a star. It's a key. The cities, they form a network. If we can connect them. The objects above the city started to pulse with light. In Seoul, the sky turned purple. Time's up, Jae-yun said. They're here. A voice filled the air, deep and strange, and everywhere at once. Preservation, speak HFY 127. Begin, FINLTS. The Reddit post appeared on every computer in the command center at once. Username, Tech Specialist 127. The post was different from the others. This one had blueprints. Choi Han-ul, hiding in his apartment in Seoul, typed frantically. He knew they would find him soon, but the world needed to know. I worked on the government's secret technology division. His post began. What I found will sound crazy, but it's all true. Earth isn't what we think it is. In the command center, Suho and Jae-yun read each word as it appeared. The technology we've been reverse engineering isn't from aliens who visited Earth. It's from aliens who made Earth. Look at these specs. The blueprints showed impossible machines. Devices that could shape planets, create atmospheres, design life. Earth is a test tube, Han-ul continued. One of thousands. They call them preservation spheres. Each one has a different species, different test. We're Sphere 127. Jae-yun checked the military archives on her screen. He's right, she whispered. Look at these classified files. The government knew. They've known for decades. Han-ul's post kept going. The collectors didn't expect us to develop creativity, imagination, dreams. These things weren't in their design. We evolved beyond their plans. That's why they're here. The building shook. Through the windows, they saw the alien ship hovering over Seoul Pulse with new light. They'd done this before, Han-ul typed. When a species grows too fast, develops too much, they reset it, erase it, start over. I found records of other spheres, hundreds of failed tests, extinct species, worlds reset to zero. Red lights flashed, warning sirens blared. But we're different, the post continued. Our creativity, our chaos, it's not a flaw. It's our strength. The other species followed their programming. We broke free. That's why. The post stopped. Then 3 words appeared. They found me. Suho grabbed his tablet, downloading everything. Major, these blueprints. They're not just showing us how they made Earth. They're showing us their weaknesses. Jae-yun studied the designs. The preservation sphere. It's a prison. But every prison has a key. The alien ship's light turned red. A new message filled the sky. Anomaly, DETCTE. CUVGCT species HAS ACCSSED restricted data. Beginning emergency protocols. They're scared, Suho said. For the first time in their existence, they can't predict what we'll do next. Han-ul's last message flashed across the screen. The test isn't about following their rules anymore. It's about breaking them. Good luck. The command center's lights went out. In the darkness, Jae-yun and Suho watched as the alien ship started to transform. The real test was about to begin. Dr. Kim Suho hadn't slept in 3 days. The equations on his screen were impossible, but they worked. Major, I found something. He called to Jae-yun. The command center had moved underground after the aliens attacked Seoul. The room was crowded with scientists and soldiers, all working to find a way to fight back. Their technology has a flaw, Suho explained. They can't track human brainwaves when we're dreaming. Our imagination creates patterns they can't predict. Jae-yun studied his data. So when we sleep, we're invisible to them. And that's not all. Suho pulled up a new screen. Look at these Reddit posts from the last hour. Hundreds of new accounts were sharing stories, dreams, ideas. Each post created a blind spot in the aliens' monitoring system. They built us to be logical, Suho said, to follow patterns. But humans dream. We make art. We tell stories. It's breaking their system. The alien ships above every major city had started to show cracks. Golden light leaked through them, like they were breaking apart. Jae-yun's phone buzzed. Messages from her global team. Tokyo reporting in. Their ships are weakening. London confirms creative activity disrupts their control. Moscow standing by. Writers and artists gathered in safe zones. It's working, Jae-yun said. Humanity's chaos is their weakness. The ground shook. On their screens, they watched the alien ships try to adapt. But they couldn't copy human creativity, couldn't understand it. Send out the call, Jae-yun ordered. Tell everyone to share their stories, their dreams, their wildest ideas. Flood every network. Reddit exploded with posts, stories, art, music, dreams, each one a weapon against the logical aliens. The ships above the cities started to pulse with confused signals. EROR. Unpredictable patterns, DETCTED. Warning. Subject species displaying impossible behaviors. Chaos levels exceeding safe parameters. Suho watched his monitors as the alien defense systems began to fail. They can't handle human creativity. Their whole system is based on logic and patterns. We're overwhelming them with imagination. The command center's speakers crackled. Through the static, they heard the alien's message. Stop. You are exceeding your design parameters. Jae-yun smiled. That's the point. We're human. Breaking parameters is what we do best. Above them, the alien ships trembled as humanity's combined creativity became a weapon they never planned for. They weren't what anyone expected. Not monsters. Not machines. They were pure geometry. Shapes that hurt to look at, moving in ways that shouldn't be possible. Suho watched from the command center as the beings descended over Seoul. His data screens exploded with readings. They're trying to rewrite our reality, he said. Make us follow their patterns again. Jae-yun's global network buzzed with reports. The collectors had appeared in all 7 cities at once. But something was wrong. Their perfect patterns kept breaking. They can't control us anymore, Suho realized. Look at the data. Every human mind is creating its own pattern. Billions of patterns. Too many for them to fix. The collectors' voices boomed worldwide. CES DSCKJOs. Return to original parameters. Jae-yun grabbed the global broadcast system. Keep going, she told humanity. Dream. Create. Imagine. Be human. The Reddit servers nearly crashed from millions posting at once. Stories. Songs. Art. Each post was a crack in the collector's perfect universe. The geometric beings started to flicker. Their shapes couldn't stay stable in a world with so much chaos, so much creativity. Impossible, they'd broadcast. This defies kin and unin laws. That's what humans do, Suho said to his screens. We break laws. We make new ones. The collectors tried to reach into human minds to restore their original programming. But they found something they'd never seen before. Hope. Dreams. The ability to imagine things that didn't exist yet. Jae-yun's team reported from around the world. London's collectors are breaking apart. Tokyo reports total pattern collapse. Moscow's sky is clearing. The geometric beings began to shatter. Their perfect shapes couldn't exist in a world filled with human imagination. You were meant to be PRFECT. The collectors broadcast one last time. Predictable. Controlled. We're human, Jae-yun said to the sky. We're better than perfect. We're free. The collectors' forms exploded into light. Their ships dissolved. The preservation sphere that had trapped Earth cracked like an eggshell, letting real starlight through for the first time. Humanity had won, not with weapons, not with force, but with the very thing the collectors thought was a flaw: their wonderful, beautiful, unpredictable human chaos. The sky was their own again. 1 month after the collectors vanished, Dr. Kim Soo-ho sat in his old office at the observatory. His computer showed him something impossible: the original Reddit post that started everything. The username caught his eye again: u/stargazerdk. But this time, the account wasn't deleted. Instead, it had a new message. "Hello, Dr. Kim. It's time you knew the truth." Soo-ho called Major Lee Jae-yun immediately. She arrived within minutes, just as she had that first night. The Reddit post continued. "On you, Soo-ho, from 3 years in the future." They read in silence as the truth unfolded. Humanity wasn't ready when the collectors first came. They reset Earth, erased everything. But some of us survived in their network. We found a way to send messages back, to warn ourselves. Jae-yun checked the post's data. It's real. The timestamp, it's from 2028. The first time, the post explained, we fought with weapons. We lost. The second time, we tried to hide. We lost again. But this time, we fought with imagination, with creativity. The one thing they could never understand or control. Soo-ho's hands shook as he typed. Why tell us now? The answer came quickly. Because it's not over. The collectors were just the start. There are more out there. Different beings. Different tests. But this time, we're ready. New images appeared on their screens. Star maps. Coordinates. Places where other preservation spheres waited to be freed. Humanity's greatest strength was never our technology. The future, Soo-ho wrote. It was our ability to dream, to imagine, to create new things. Now it's time to share that gift with others. Jae-yun looked at the star maps. They're calling for help, she said. All those other trapped species. The final message appeared. The Reddit posts weren't just warnings. They're a record, a weapon, a key. Use them. Save the others. And remember, imagination isn't a flaw. It's the most powerful force in the universe. Soo-ho opened his observatory's main telescope program. The stars looked different now. Not just lights, but doorways. Places to explore. People to save. Ready to make some more Reddit posts? He asked Jae-yun. She smiled. Let's give the universe something new to imagine. Above them, Earth's night sky shone with real starlight for the first time in human history. And somewhere out there, other beings waited to learn what humanity had discovered. The power of a single story to change everything.